Okay, and this hand, 1 drop, 2 drop, 4 drop, and 2 pump spells. Sounds good. Play our Soul Warden. Dismal Backwater. Okay, Dimir control. Looks like what we are up against. Preordain, bottom and top, and Disfigure. Remosian will not protect from that, so no point in using it. We play Borrowed Grace for 4 damage, but I'd rather save it for when we have more tokens. Another Preordain. Alright, just realized my screen was messed up, but I fixed it. Chainer's Edict. Well, luckily that only gets a token. Loom with Red Field. Well, I'm going to play that as a creature. Not really doing that much as an enchantment right now, although it might protect us from something like a Whale of the Nim or some other -1/-1 effect. I'd rather just have an attacker. Seagate Oracle. Well, that stops our attacks. Now we get to take to the sky for our attacks. Tap some stuff. Not going to waste our Remosian just to get through the Seagate Oracle here. And a Muldrifter. Now they have a blocker in the sky as well. Okay, so pump by 2, pump by 1, pump by 1 if we tap both of our ground creatures. Then we'll have +4 on each of these, and I'll attack for a total of 13 damage, or 15 damage rather. And I will trade the Muldrifter. Alternatively, I could play Raise the Alarm and use the Raise the Alarm tokens for the 2 Remosians. Trade with the Seagate and the Muldrifter and get in less damage. I think that's fine. And I can do the Raise the Alarm at instant speed, so go ahead and attack. Alright, so Borrowed Grace or Raise the Alarm into single or double Remosian. Either one is fine here. I think I'm going to go with Raise the Alarm into double Remosian, and the reason for that is it lets my bird that's being blocked by the Muldrifter survive. And playing Borrowed Grace and pumping only power does not do that. Alright, and our opponent has conceded. So against this deck, Sundering Growth really only takes out the life gain mana ramp artifact, and it's not important enough to bring that in. Holy Light doesn't do anything. Loom with Red Field could be good. If we get multiples of them, we can protect from an Evincar's Justice. With a single of them, we can protect from a Shrivel or a Whale of the Nim effect. Journey could be good if they also have Gurmag Angler, but we can just attack around it. Not that big of a deal. Soul's Attendant, we don't really need the life gain. So Loom with Red Field, do we want to bring in any of these for some number of other cards? Alright, so what I'm going to cut here is a Borrowed Grace and 2 Soul Warden. I'm dividing up between these two to be better protected against that instant that does -2/-2 to all creatures of the same name. And I'll submit like this. Alright, a little bit creature light here, but we can still keep. And I think I'm eventually going to want to cycle this Secluded Step for more action. Maybe even on my very first turn, so I'll do that instead of playing it turn 1. Alright, a third Gather the Townsfolk. They probably took out all of their Edict effects. Alright, there's Accumulated Knowledge. Bottom and top with Preordain. Aqueduct returns the Dismal Backwater. And we drew another land. I could have played Loom with Red Field as a creature there for curve purposes, but I decided not to. Disfiguring a single token, okay. indicates they don't have an Evincar's Justice coming down next turn. Or probably not even anywhere in hand. Alright, get to attack. Because I don't believe they have an Evincar's, I'm going to go ahead and play this third Gather the Townsfolk. Obviously, if they do have it, it's going to be pretty bad, but I could protect against that by playing the Luma Thread field here, and then I'll have Ramosian Rally up because some of my creatures are untapped. That would be a safer option. The only way I'm going to get more value from this Luma Thread field is by morphing it and having an additional creature. And it's probably better just to use it for its main purpose. Forbidden Alchemy, okay. Pop out their graveyard. Alright, so they didn't want Doomblade, or Radiant Fountain. Doomblade is pretty obvious. Single target removal is bad against us. We'll see if they got something really good. Gurmag Angler. Alright. Sends Enlistment. Okay, well I'm glad I drew this before I drew these extra lands. Before I started playing these lands. Do I want to trade one of these for 4 damage right now? Yeah, I think I do. With Sends Enlistment in hand, assuming it doesn't get countered, then I can trade off one thing a turn and still be making progress since I'm creating 2 tokens a turn. Of course, if this gets counterspelled, then that's going to be pretty bad for me, especially since I won't have Ramosian Rally up. However, we have to try. Alright, that gets counterspelled. We can retrace it next turn still, though. Another single target removal used. Down to only 3 creatures. Muldrifter gets cast. They're up to 4 cards in hand, and they've got a clock on us with this Gurmag. Let's start by cycling this. Okay. And then we will retrace our Sends Enlistment. We could have also discarded the Secluded Step eventually. But I think it was better to cycle it, try to get to another pump spell, which is what we're going to need to be able to win this race. They decide not to attack here. Yet another blocker comes down. Borrowed Grace. Alright, I think I'm not quite ready to do that yet, since I still have the lands for the Sends Enlistment flashback. I'd rather accumulate more tokens first. Go ahead and pass. Now I only need 5 things to get in to kill them. So they'd have to block all with all 3 creatures to survive, assuming they didn't have a counterspell, which is, of course, a large assumption now that they're sitting on 6 cards in hand. Shrivel. Okay. Obviously going to let that happen. They're going to follow it up with another Shrivel. And at this point, I have to at least attempt to get out of this. And if they have counterspell backup, then I'm just going to lose because all my creatures will be dead. Alright, they killed their own Muldrifter that way. Let's see if they have a third Shrivel. Radiant Fountain, 3 cards in hand. It's do or die. Looks like they're going to pass a turn. We're taking 3. Yeah, I think we just won. What is this? Gurmag Angler? Yep, a second Gurmag Angler. Okay. Okay, so here if they block twice, then we will get in with 5 things and 15 damage and take them to 1, which will be good enough to win against anything but a lot of life gain, or even Evincar's Justice won't save them because they won't have enough life left over unless they start off with a Radiant Fountain. So I will attack. Also, Evincar's Justice won't save them because I top decked this Luma Thread field. So I can play this post-combat. And then they won't die to an Evincar's Justice. Alrighty. There's my Evincar's protection in case they do have a Radiant Fountain and an Evincar's. And that should be the game. Flashing back Forbidden Alchemy, just in case there's something on top of their library that saves them from this. And there isn't, so they concede. Well, as it turns out, single target removal is not good against tokens, specifically not against Sen's Enlistment either, which is a nice card as a one-of in the list. And we were able to take down this match. Okay, on to the next one.